Esports Stories presents 322 C version by DDZ. The original 322 meme was more or less intentionally created by the player Solo in June 2013. If you have not watched the video already, make sure to watch right after this one. This story is about the player DDZ, whose real name is Ko-Ki Liong, and his team Aero Gaming, who renewed the 322 meme in the Southeast Asia region. Since early 2014, DDZ played for Team Aero Gaming, and they were not only competing, but also winning against the top teams from the C region at that time. In April 2014, Team Aero Gaming was invited to the International 2014 Southeast Asia qualifiers. The group stage started well for DDZ and his team, as they could win 7 out of 9 matches, and ended up in first place. The team was able to maintain their level of play and faced against MVP Phoenix in the grand finals. Due to a great team performance, Aero Gaming was able to win the finals with a score of 3-1, and this meant Aero Gaming would be part of the International 2014 as one of the 4 qualifier winners. DDZ said later in an interview about the qualifier, "The best moment for me was the last game against MVP Phoenix. I got a rampage with Tiny, which was the best way for me to end the game." The preparation for the biggest tournament with a prize pool of almost $11 million was kind of rough for Team Aero Gaming, as they stated on their Facebook page, "We are sad to announce that 4 of our players had their visa applications rejected. On one hand, the reason for the rejection was the young age of the players, and on the other hand, their lack of any financial backup. With the full support of the Valve Corporation and a personal endorsement from the Malaysian Ministry of Sports and Youth to the U.S. Embassy, all 4 visa applications were accepted. In July 2014, TI4 started, and Team Aero Gaming had to face all 15 teams in the playoffs, Phase 2. However, they performed poorly and lost 13 out of 15 matches, resulting in a devastating last place and the direct elimination from the tournament. Nevertheless, DDZ was considered one of the best solo mid players in the Southeast Asian scene at that time. He was often compared to EG's RTZ, and originally the phrase "too easy for RTZ" was developed into "too easy for DDZ" by fans of Aero Gaming. The trigger of this 322 incident was a match on the 13th of October. Team Aero Gaming played versus Team CSW within the Synergy League. The match started with quite normal picks, and both teams were playing more or less defensive in the first 2 minutes. All of a sudden, at 2 minutes and 2 seconds into the game, all 5 players of Aero Gaming disconnected. DDZ later stated, "The internet connection was really unstable that time, and my PC was lagging badly." Shortly after everyone reconnected, Aero Gaming was able to secure the first blood, and the game continued to be an allegedly fair match. At 8 minutes and 54 seconds, not only the first bigger team fight took place, but also the first suspicious play from Lance, as he barely survived the fight and then turned back with less than 10% HP and tried to right-click the anti-mage of CSW and obviously died. Within the next 2 minutes, DDZ managed to die twice by walking around with almost no map awareness at all. At around 18 minutes, DZZ pushed the top lane and faced Anti-Mage and AA. However, instead of running away, DDZ tried to fight AM, which clearly did not work, and died again. At this point, the score was 20-12 for Team CSW. Only 2 minutes later, DDZ gets killed at almost the exact same place, as he just pushed the T2 tower again without any map awareness. At minute 24 of the game, another team fight ended in favor for CSW, as Team Aero Gaming tried to fight 3 versus 4, even under the impact of the AA Ultimate with clearly underfarmed heroes. The score was now 30-14 for Team CSW, and the XP lead was above the 14,000 mark. Just another minute later, DDZ TP'd into 4 enemies and got killed, and Lance, who saw his teammate dying, walked straight into the enemy heroes like he could fight them 1 versus 4. At minute 31, an additional team fight was clearly lost, as Team Aero Gaming tried to gang the anti-mage with an Aegis and just got destroyed by CSW. After a 4-minute-long pause as DDZ had another disconnect, Aero Gaming called GG after the loss of another fight on high ground. The most devastating stats of the game were: DDZ died 12 times and only had 1 kill. Lance died 8 times and had 3 kills. As you can tell, there were a lot of suspiciously bad plays during the match, and at that time, the popular Dota 2 betting site, Dota 2 Lounge, already had ongoing investigations due to inconsistencies from Team Mineski and the MSI squad. On the 18th of October, D2L released the results of their investigation, and they claimed that Aero Gaming was implicated in this 322 match-fixing scandal as well. Both Lance and DDZ's girlfriend's accounts have shown a suspicious amount of bets against their Team Aero Gaming in multiple games in the Synergy League. Shortly afterwards, DDZ made a very long statement on Reddit, starting with, "First, I would like to stress that I have never bet against my own team or have any intention to do so." He published screenshots from his bet history and a lot of screenshots of his conversations with his girlfriend, friends, and Lance. DDZ tried to explain that he had no knowledge about the bets of his girlfriend and that his computer was lagging during the game versus CSW, which was the only reason for the poor performance. However, Reddit users instantly started to dig deeper into the provided evidence and soon claimed that the screenshots of the conversations were fake and that this was just an attempt at fooling the community. Only 1 day later, the community manager of the Synergy League, Oleg Skobelyev, made an official statement. "We received new portions of fake screenshots and fake statements. Now it's 100% true that Aero's management are involved in this situation." So, the management of the Synergy League decided to ban not only DDZ and Lance, but also the organization Aero Gaming for life. Beyond the summit's owners, both David Gorman and David Parker decided to take actions as well and stated, "Unfortunately, after further investigations into these match-fixing incidents, we will also be removing Aero from the Summit 2C division." Shortly afterwards, Aero Gaming decided to release both DDZ and Lance from their contracts. The 2 players who are charged guilty have been dropped from the team effective today. This was the decision reached by the team management after compiling evidence and an intensive interrogative session with the players in question. On the same day, DDZ issued a lengthy statement on his Facebook account about the match-fixing scandal. Firstly, we want to admit that the 322 by DDZ and Lance is true, and we are very sorry for this mistake. We considered doing it in the first place because we were desperate for money. We live in the city, and being underpaid, things are just very tough and harsh on us sometimes. Furthermore, DDZ explained that Jarin Gan, the manager of Aero Gaming, wanted to cover up the scandal for the sake of their reputation, and therefore did the first cover-up post on Reddit for damage control. The rest of the statement was more or less an apology to the Synergy League, Beyond the Summit, and the community. After these 3 days, with a lot of rumors, statements, accusations, and apologies, the public chatter dropped. The remaining 3 players, Mozen, Zhang Zai, and MTR, were later dropped from Aero Gaming for their knowledge and involvement in the match-fixing activities. However, all 5 players continue to play together as Team Redemption, but received the biggest setback in March 2015 as Valve announced that they banned the team permanently from any future Valve events such as the International. The official statement by the manager, Dwai Tang of Team Redemption was, "Upon hearing this news, I've had a chat with the players to discuss our future. Despite the initial shock and disappointment, they've steadied themselves and told me that they will continue playing, as their passion for the game cannot be measured. This reply humbled but assured me that the boys have matured, even by a small extent. Therefore, Team Redemption will continue fighting as before." This was the full story behind the 322 match-fixing incident in the C region. What do you think about this story? Let us know in the comment section, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. See you next time on Esports Stories.